Hello everyone, Fred Bergeron from Inaxsys. In this tutorial today, I'm going to use the Protege WX platform from ICT to show how to create what I call programmable functions for elevator control. All right, so this will, in this example, allow, let's say, an operator to unlock a floor for a visitor for a specified amount of time. We call this the token time or the intercom unlock time. So basically what we're doing is we're simulating an intercom unlock for the floor. Okay, so this can be really useful for, let's say, a concierge at the front desk. When a visitor wants to go and see, let's say, someone at the third floor, he can, by the click of a button, simply unlock the floor for the amount of time that we programmed. Okay, so because by default, if you badge a card inside the cab, the system will unlock the floor for 5 seconds. But when it's for a visitor, you have to give the visitor a bit more time to get to the elevator system, call the elevator, and then get to the floor. Okay, so again, that's very easy. For this, I'm going to use virtual outputs. So I'm going to show how to create a virtual module to simplify programming, and then I'm going to show how to create the function and test it. Okay, so let me show you how it's done. Again, it's the ICT Protege WX platform. So basically, the first thing I wanted to show you is I use the expander wizard. We showed this in a different video, but what I did is I manually added an output expander. Okay, so you can do this by going to additional module, and then you can manually add a device. Okay, but it's already done. I'm going to cancel this. So if you go to expanders and output expanders, you see that I have now my first PGM expander, and basically it's set as virtual module. The reason for this is that when I add the module, it will automatically add for me 8 or 16 outputs. All right. So instead of creating each output manually, which is time consuming, you can create the module, which will have the outputs for you, and then you can simply enable virtual module, which will prevent basically the system from showing a module as offline, and also will prevent someone to go to the site with a physical module with the same address to then, maybe mess up the configuration for our elevator functions. Okay, so that's the first step. By creating this output expander, I now have 8 virtual outputs available for special application. By a virtual output, I mean an output that's not connected to a physical module. All right, so now if we go to programming and outputs, like that, you see I have my 8 outputs, and the first one I labeled it floor 1 visitor unlock. Okay, so that's the first step. Obviously, you have to have your elevator system already programmed. We have a video for that if you want to refer to it. So basically what I did, the function will basically use a group of floors and a group of elevators to then trigger the correct floor. So in other words, if you have multiple elevator cabs, okay, you need to have a group of elevators including all of these, because you don't know that when we call the elevator, we don't know which one will get to the ground floor first. All right, so that's why I did those groups. So basically we need at least 1 floor group per floor if the floor will be controlled separately. So that's what I did. I have 1 group with floor 1. Okay, then I did an elevator group with my elevator 1. All right, so then it brings us to the functions. So under programmable functions, I added a new function. The type will be elevator control. Under elevator control here, I have the type. So basically when I activate the output, the system will unlock the floor 1, and basically the time is set here. So let me just stop my function before I modify it. Here, okay, stop. Always do this before editing. So under programmable functions now, here I'm going to put, let's say, 20 seconds. Typically I put 2 minutes, depending on how far the front desk or the entrance is from the elevator system. So let's say 20. And I go back to my programmable functions. Oh, sorry, I didn't save properly. Now it's saved. Programmable functions. And I start it. Okay? So basically now the link is my virtual output to unlock floor 1 is linked to the programmable functions that will trigger the group of floor and the elevator system. So if we go under monitoring, all right, and outputs, we can find here floor 1 visitor unlock. We can activate time. Okay, otherwise it's going to say active. So I activate time for 5 seconds, which is plenty enough. If I go to the monitoring and events now, you'll see that I activated the output, okay, and then the on, and we see the floor unlocking, and then we see the floor relay being deactivated. So the output deactivated. Okay, so basically this was how to trigger a floor unlocking for, in this case, 20 seconds. when we trigger a virtual output. Okay, so your operator, and that's actually valid for the GX platform as well. So with WX, you go to the monitoring, and then the operator can actually trigger the floor he wants to trigger for that visitor access. Okay, so again, Fred Bergeron from Inaxsys. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel to have notifications. If you need to reach our support or sales team, you can find these two departments from the inaxsys.com website. All right, thanks for watching. Fred Bergeron from Inaxsys.